about 9 p.m., a group of citizens from the Cherry Tree Lane community of Fort Park, Clarendon, were assembled at a car wash playing bingo when a group of men approached and opened fire, killing 8 persons, including an 8-year-old boy and 3 females. 9 persons, including a 1-year and 9-month-old baby, were shot and injured and are at the hospital. It is an unfortunate and brutal incident, one that I think borders on terrorism, because I think this act is to instill fear and to intimidate the community. The police is committed to ensure that justice is done, and we are using all our resources to ensure that the perpetrators are found and face justice. We are at an early stage of our investigation.
We know
the scene is
that
currently
persons who are incarcerated presently have connections in this act. We know that multiple gangs are connected and involved in this act. Every gang, every person who in any way facilitated, provided the arms, or were involved and pulled the trigger themselves, we will find you and we will bring you to justice. I want that to be absolutely clear. We will not treat this as another criminal act.
What has happened here shows that the gangs don't protect communities. You know, it is a really evil mind that people are at a party and you would take an M16 assault rifle. This is a weapon of war. M16 round can kill up to a distance of a mile away. It has the ability to penetrate metal sheeting. You know, it's a very powerful weapon, and if used indiscriminately, can cause serious damage. And we have seen it here that for someone to use a weapon of war on an innocent civilian population, it's just a level of evil that we can't countenance. So as I talk to young men in particular, who are most of the victims of crime and also the perpetrators, I have to point out to you that the gangs are a plague on our society. They don't mean you any good. So this notion that the Jamaican population, some members of the Jamaican population have that somehow, you know, gangs are as a result of poverty or poor circumstances, that's not the case. An M16 rifle is not cheap. Ammunition is not cheap. To rent the car or own the car is not cheap. To pay people to do this is not cheap. You know, back to school time, they could have used that money to send a number of children back to school, but instead they chose to use it to take lives. So my own sentiment is that we should have no sympathy for gangs and we must destroy them. And the destruction of the gangs come when communities decide that we are not going to give them any space. Right? And what's the space that they have? The space is not the room that they live in. The space is not being able to go to the bar and take.
So we're both on foot, joined military patrols. When we saw men on bikes, they were stopped. One of the men had a bag on his shoulder. They ran. The bag was thrown. They retrieved, and the bag was found to contain a firearm. All 4 men at this time are in our custody. We had a mass murder last night, so we're both on foot, joined military patrols. When we saw men on bikes, they were stopped. One of the men had a bag on his shoulder. They ran. The bag was thrown. They retrieved, and the bag was found to contain a firearm. All 4 men at this time are in our custody.